S, as in fireballs. Hello, Dungeon fans. I'm the Lich, and this is the Liching Hour. And before you do whatever it is you came here to do, in dungeon news, I've got something to say to all the levels of the dungeon, from level 1 to level 10. You guys are the best. Seriously, even those creepy little vampire babies on level 1. This would not be a home without you. That said, why can't any of you follow the simple guidelines we've laid out for using the dungeon's restrooms? It's all laid out in the dungeon handbook. Seriously, that little green goblin problem we had last week was due to 4 different types of excrement mingling. Would you guys have a party, a multi-level party, in one restroom? A troll, an orc, a gnoll, and a shambling mound walk into a restroom. Sound like a joke? It's not. It's not funny hunting little green shit goblins all week. Please, for our safety, use the color-coded system as laid out in the dungeon handbook for using the restrooms. Okay. Now, the Were-Rats on level 3 are holding a bake sale tomorrow in order to raise funds for Nintendo Switch. So come on up or down. I know you got a few coppers to spend on Nanner's fried brownies, if I don't buy them and eat them all myself. That's it for the news. Enjoy your stay. Viva la Dungeon.
Man, I love me some Nanner's fried brownies. There's some good stuff. Thank you, Lich, for the news. Hello. Welcome to the dungeon. I'm Kevin from level 9. From HR. It's Friday night, which means we're playing Dungeon Crawl Classics. If you're watching on YouTube, notice the little icon here that says chat plays. If you want to join in, please come by at the Liching Hour of 12 a.m. on Friday and Saturday nights. And if you have not yet followed or subscribed, please do. Let's see. What's up? Cover off. We are playing Hole in the Sky tonight. Should be the final part of Hole in the Sky by Brendan LaSalle, an official Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure. It's also the first adventure in a campaign I'm calling Wheel of Destiny, which, if you saw the first episode, will make sense, but it will also make sense at the end of this episode. Let's see, where were we? We'll get right to it. Where were we? Well, let's put it this way. We are rejoining in the second breath of each of our almost heroes after an incredibly intense fight where 2/3 of the party were slain. So, imagine, if you will, 5 of our almost heroes in a not terribly large room, piles of bodies around them, still trying to calm their beating chests, blood, gore, all around them. Their friends, companions. We won't call them friends because they didn't really know each other until about 6 days ago. 9 of these companions dead around them, 5 of them left, and then 12 bodies of these human or humanoid, but very, very famished and desperate and dirty and filthy people who apparently live in the walls of this prison in this other dimension. As they're trying to catch their breath, this is where we rejoin them. Who survived? It is, I'm going to move my screen over here. We have Richer, the halfling moneylender, who, as a side note, is lawful. Naomi, the jester, neutral. Snyx, the cut purse, chaotic, or chaos as it is in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Armstrong, the chaos herder, and Boros, the dwarven chess builder, chess maker. He's lawful. Those are the only people alive right now. Bunt, Troll Fat, the turnip farmer. The very first episode, he was like, "Nope, I'm out." Some lady in blue with severed heads talking, all of the heads talking. He was like, "I ain't having none of that," and he walked out. So that's why he's in light gray, because as far as we know, he's still alive. So let's take for a minute and get to know these 5, because if things go okay tonight, at least until the next adventure, this is going to be our party of first levels. Richer, he, other than being a moneylender and being lawful, he kind of was buddying up with the other halfling. He did offer to fund people's trip to a town if they needed gear or anything, but we don't know much about him. We don't know much about his personality. We know he's very smart. He's really agile. That's about it. And he's pretty lucky, too. If you in the chat room, this is a free-for-all, if you in the chat room have any thought about one kind of aspect of his personality, speak up, and we will integrate that into the story. Now, Naomi the Jester, she just starts laughing. After the second breath, when they're all standing there, the last guy had fallen. Boros had walked over and slain the last guy who had ran away and huddled in the corner, and Boros, in a rage, slew him with the battle axe that slew his friends, some of his friends. And as he's standing over his body, she starts laughing. She finally found a joke that made her laugh. All her life she had told jokes and did things to make other people laugh, but nothing that ever made her laugh. But what she realized right then made her laugh, and she laughed, and she had to stop herself before she felt like she was going to be going crazy. And maybe she did a little bit. But in that moment, she felt she had been pretty much up against the wall. She had been the first one to enter the room with these 13 people, and they had at first tried to capture her, and she evaded capture. And then they tried to kill her, and she evaded being killed. In a very hectic, very intense melee, she survived. How did she survive? She feels like touched, like something's changed in her. And this cosmic kind of goof, if you allow me, she starts laughing at. So Naomi feels like she's in the beginning of a journey of some sort. Well, she is, obviously. She's on a huge fucking journey, but she is in a, might I say, spiritual kind of thing. Snicks, after the second breath, and into the third, starting in the fourth, Snicks goes, "Hey guys," and people turn to look at him, and he's holding up one of the heads. He's like, "Should I bring this back to the lady in blue?" Snicks took it upon himself to decapitate one of the people. If you've been following, this whole adventure started. It's going to end with them, hopefully, it's going to end with them accomplishing what they set out to do, which is to free some mysterious ally of theirs. And they were doing it on the behest of this lady in blue with a literal statue kind of face, holding 5 severed heads, and all of them speaking as one. Her statue face included. So Snicks is in jest. He's chaotic. And I will say that in this battle, and in so far everything that's been going on, Snicks has never felt so alive. He's digging the battle. And he won't admit it, but if you grilled him and if you watched him close enough, it was the actually act of killing, not so much the battle. So he's maybe a little bit of psychotic. Then there's Armstrong. Armstrong has his dog Precious, his herding dog, so like a sheepdog, Precious, named Precious, tied to his back because they had to climb up a big long set of ladders to get to this room. We don't know much about him either. I don't have anything right off other than he has the dog. he is chaos. His alignment is chaos. So typically mean just that he's more self-centered than anybody, than, altruistic. Or he could swing all the way to evil. We don't know. Again, just like Richer, if you have a thought, kind viewer, if you have a thought on maybe a word, anything that pops in your head that we could apply to Armstrong, please throw it in the chat and we will start working it in. So that's where they are. And they're looking around. Richer has taken the time to start looking around after the fourth, fifth, sixth breath. He's looking around. These guys, by the way, these guys are all hurt. Like Boros, 1 hit point. Armstrong, 2 hit points. Richer, 1 hit point. These guys are, Naomi and Snicks are doing pretty good. 4 and 3. 3 and 4. But just to give you an idea of how hurt these guys are, they can't mess around. Not that they want to mess around, but they've got to be careful from here on out. So, make sure. Okay. Richard's looking around. It doesn't take him long to find a door hidden behind a kind of like a blanket up against one of the walls, leading away from to the level set where we are. They walked into this prison. Well, they crawled underneath a huge, gigantic door to get into it, a King Kong type door. Crawled underneath the door, huge open room. It's basically one big. The place that they're in is like one big seed. It literally looks like a seed with thorns growing off of it, like a pod or pine cone. And so it's big and kind of tapers up. They came in and most of the middle part is hollowed out into one big room where they saw the Titan sleeping and the pumpkin demon attack them and the big glow bugs. And then they got themselves into the walls and have been climbing up the walls to try to get to the top, because that's where the cage is hanging from a tree where the person there or thing they're trying to save is in, being held captive. So they're in this room. There's holes in the wall on one side, we'll say the east side, where light's coming in from the big room, which are these big glow bugs. And when I say big, they're really big glow bugs just kind of lazily flying around the room. The light's coming in. They find a secret door on the opposite wall, behind a curtain, and a small, shoddy wooden door. They open it really slowly, and Richard does. And he's got he's a halfling, so he's got ultravision, right? Doesn't he? That's a good question. Maybe it's just ultravision. I mean infravision, and they do have infravision. Ultravision. What is ultravision? They have ultravision. Infravision, not as cool, but pretty cool. He sees he sees shapes, and he recoils and closes the door real slowly, but notices that none of them get up. He calls, come. And they look. Boros looks in. He peers in. Also infravision because he's dwarf, and it looks like there are people, more of these people. They're in even a smaller kind of room, and they're all laying down, and they look very even worse off than the people they just fought. What do we do? They're not moving. Is this the only way out? I've searched everywhere. I don't know. Unless we want to go back down. No, I don't want to go down. Well, let's walk in, and then if they start getting up, we'll come back out, close the door, and then use that as a chokehold. All right. So Boros steps in, doesn't say anything, has his battle axe, he's ready, and he just slight moans. Russell has something. One of the people rolls over carefully. They're listless. They're not paying attention or caring. Richard comes in. Snick sneaks in around. I should kill them all. I'm gonna kill them all. No, Boros says a little louder than he wanted to. There's a rustle from the people, but nobody gets up. They pause. He's like, no. Most of us are ready to die. We can't take another fight like that. Oh, all right. Well, there are too many of them anyway. Yes. That's when Boros goes, this guy's a little bloodthirsty. Richard, look around. There's got to be a way out of here. I'm looking. Very carefully, the team starts scouting out the area, being careful not to disturb any of the people on the floor. They're about to go, we got to get back out, when Richard goes, ah, psst, and he points up. There's another one of those blankets, same type that was on the other side. He's like, I bet you there's something behind that. So Richard jumps on Snick's shoulders and reaches up and pulls it off, and sure enough, there's a shaft with a ladder going up. So, luckily, moving very carefully and being quiet, they're able to all get up on the ladder and start going up, with Richard in front, and then Boros, and then Snicks, and then Naomi. Snicks at first fights an urge to stay behind, but then decides to go. Stay behind, to take the behind, just to stick his knife into someone's throat. We all go up they all go up, start heading up the ladder. It's another smaller tunnel or shaft than the one that they did earlier. Definitely a lot less used. Some very stale air. And there's going up. We have a... The passage goes up into the darkness. The interior wall has handholds that allow you to climb up into the darkness. Oh, there's no ladder. It's actual things. There are several small holes in the opposite wall, and a few beams of light illuminate the wall. That's the light from the glow bugs. About halfway up this shaft, Richard reaches up and he grabs something, and he goes to pull himself up and realizes he's holding a skeleton hand. It's like, looking, it's human, and he jiggles it a little bit, and a rock kind of falls to the side, and then starts falling. He goes, "Oh, look out!" And it falls. Doesn't hurt anybody because it bounces off somebody. It doesn't hurt anybody, but he's like, I think there's a passage back here. So he yanks in the arm, and then he kind of moves over a little bit, and Boros comes up. They're able to kind of get together, and they both kind of work on pulling out rocks and pushing them back, because there's a passageway back there. They open up a passageway and they crawl in about 3 foot, and they crawl in and they work their way over, and they come into a small room. The air in this small chamber is quite stale and dusty. The space is nearly 25 feet long, but only 10 feet wide. The ceiling is less than 5 feet tall. They see several small sacks, a few dusty suits of armor, and a small pile of weapons. Standing upright against the far wall is a silver-tipped spear of black wood. Unlike the other objects in the cave, it looks fresh, as if it's been recently polished. Nothing says magic item like recently polished. Everybody crawls in and start going through the little cache they found. They find themselves some good stuff, actually. Boros finds himself a suit of banded mail that's in need of repair, but still is really, really good. Needs to get it repaired though. But it's +4 armor class, so that's good. There's even a set of leather armor for halflings, which is great news for Richard. Leather armor's +2. Okay, and then let's see. Yep. Naomi will take, 2 suits of human-sized chainmail. Chainmail. Does Naomi feel like a chainmail to a person? I think she may. Yes. Seems funny to her. But right. There's something right about it. It's also in need of repair, so it's +3. But that's cool. And then there's a, Snicks is definitely, oh yeah, Armstrong's going to take, there's 2 sets of chainmail, so that's cool. Boy, do they need this. Snicks finds himself some leather armor. And then there's a couple short swords. Naomi's going to take a short sword for sure. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Huh. There's a beautifully wrought dwarven warhammer in excellent condition. Huh. Armstrong is not particularly strong or agile. Naomi's not particularly strong either. So, I wonder if there's chainmail. Is there a thing for... So chainmail means she's going to get D12 in the fumble, but it doesn't, nothing, agility doesn't, or strength doesn't affect it. Okay. So first, Boros is kind of drawn to the Dwarven Warhammer, just because it's in excellent condition. He might actually take it. But then he's drawn to the spear, of course. He's the first one who walks over to it. It's beautiful. It's got these carved ruins on it, on an ebon shaft. For Sir Spear Demon, it says. These dwarven runes. He picks it up. And as he picks it up, he just has a flash of insight. This was created. He can feel the chaos in it, but it was created to kill the thing that sits below. The Titan, the thing that slumbers. The gigantic creature. This was meant to kill it. He's taking it for sure. The Warhammer doesn't seem right for anybody, but I think they should take it anyway. There are 2 vials of holy water and a holy symbol. Naomi is drawn to the holy symbol, but isn't sure if it's right. It's a holy symbol. She doesn't recognize the god. It's Justitia, which is a lawful god. She's neutral, but she's drawn to it. Anyway, it's worth a lot of money. Okay, short sword. She's gonna take a short sword, and Armstrong will take the short sword. Okay. So, after kind of ransacking this cache, they check out the room. There's nowhere else really to go. So, they crawl back out and start crawling back up. And it doesn't take them much longer, about 60 feet until they enter a chamber, 30 feet by 30 feet, and open to the huge main room of the prison. So they come out. It's like it's almost like a balcony, right? Not a balcony, but they come out. It's 30 by 30, and then it opens out over. And they look down. They can see below them is the tree that's growing out of part of the roof or part of the wall, and that hangs the cage. And then the Titan is below them, sleeping. And they're looking, and then they look up at the door, and above the door is that pumpkin demon, and it's got its legs are viney legs all spread out, and it's staring intensely at them with its green baleful fire eyes. It looks as if posed to start skittering up at them. What do we do? We've got to have to jump. Someone's going to have to jump. Who? Someone's got to jump to the branch, shimmy down, and open up the cage. Who is going to do that? Well, it's either Richer, or Snicks. Richer's, they're both the same kind of agility. Anyone in chat room care to choose between Snicks and Richer? Otherwise, yeah, it would make more sense. Well, okay. Snicks at first, he's chaos. At first, he's like, yeah, I'll let somebody else do it. Let the halfling do that. But then when he's looking at the cage, the power he feels in there, coming from it, feels like power he wants to know. He wants to experience. I think Snicks is gonna say, I'll go. The problem is if we fail this roll, he is falling down to land on the Titan, and who knows what's gonna happen at that point. So this is a pretty important roll for our dear friend Snickies. It does. Heroic. Did you just join us? I'm gonna assume that you just joined, literally just joined. Yeah. All right. Okay, we're gonna roll for Snicks. He's going to jump down onto the branch that's holding the cage, and yes, he needs a 13. He has a +1 to the roll, and we're gonna switch over. Boom. I need a Snicks kind of die here. Yeah, this is good. All right. See you on the other side. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah. It looks like he's gonna make it. He grabs, slips, holds onto the branch, falls. He's seeing the cage, and he falls, and they see him land and tumble and roll on the gut of the Titan. And the Titan starts shaking. And the whole place rumbles. Now Boros, he's holding a spear that they just found. All right, just 5 minutes ago, he just found a spear that he knows was made to slay the Titan. Boros is lawful. Boros is just about to jump off this thing with the spear in order to kill the Titan. So that's going to happen right now. Snicks is alive. He hit the broke his fall, hitting the Titan. The Titan's waking up. He's going to crush him. Boros, not even thinking very much, already knowing what this spear and his destiny is going to be, Boros leaps off with spear in hand, falling to kill the Titan. Meanwhile, all right, we'll take care. We'll do that now. This is going to be chaotic. Well, I don't think there's personally. I don't think there's a roll with this. We're talking about a 60-foot being thing that's super hard to miss. Boros leaps off, comes flying down, lands with the spear first, jamming it into the shoulder of the Titan. A massive blast of chaotic energy kind of blows him back. The Titan, having just kind of started getting up out of his slumber, screams out, bashes the walls. Snicks falls down on the ground, runs across the floor. Boros is hanging on to the Titan as the Titan's doing its death throes. Crushes the pumpkin demon, skitters across the wall, and one of the fists hits the basket that's holding the whatever it is, and that's in the prisoner, and that starts swinging. Meanwhile, Naomi, Richer, and Armstrong are watching, and we've got to get to the cage. Yes, Richer jumps. Richard jumps and lightly drops on the tree branch and heads down it as quick as he can. He grabs onto the rope and shimmies down. From his vantage point, he looks down into the woven cage and he sees a wretched-looking creature, vaguely feminine, with dark green skin. She sits holding her knees and has what appears to be a green cloak around her shoulders. "Are you here to torment me?" she asks. "Please, have mercy, no more pain." So he's got to clamber down the rope. He's got to do a strength check. Oh, he's got to and everything's got to be a pain in the butt. Okay, his reflex save saves him. He gets down there, and she goes, "You're here to release me?" "Oh, yes." She goes, "The only way is to open it with blood. Insert your hand into the lock." It's with blood. Meanwhile, the Titan in another thing hits the cage again. They go flying. He's holding on. The Titan crashes against a wall, slumps down. Boros is hanging on to, like, if the guy has a jerkin on of some sort, and then he drops down and rolls off his leg onto the floor. Looking up, the pumpkin is staring intently at the cage and doesn't seem to notice him. And he looks across the floor and there's Snicks. He goes running towards Snicks. Richard puts his hand into an opening. It's like there's not a lock there. There's just an opening in the cage. It's a dark thing. Very Flash Gordon. Sticks his hand into it. And suddenly there's an intense pain. Oh, you poor bastard. Yes, for... He... So, yeah. We're going to do it. He's going to spend a heck of a lot of luck. Because if he doesn't, he's going to pass out and he's going to fall to his death. So, he's blowing 8 luck. Rather have him luckless than dead. He's a halfling. He'll regen it. So, he just barely manages to stay alive. His hand is excruciating. He drops off. He's holding on. He's able to hold on just enough to pull his hand back. When he's pulled his hand back, the cage door opens. And suddenly, this poor little thing bursts out of the cage in a shriek. And she's got bat wings, and she's way bigger and crazier looking than what she was in the cage. She screeches with joy and bursts out, "I'm free!" First thing she does is she sees the pumpkin demon spread out on the wall across from her. She goes right for him, slams into him, and it takes mere seconds, and she's tearing him apart, gutting him, pieces of pumpkin going everywhere. The green fire lasts just long enough to run up and down her arms, and then goes out. And then she's flying around, and she flies down to she picks up Boros, and she says, "You did so well, little man." And then she picks up Snicks, and then she flies up, and she's looking down at Naomi and Armstrong. She said, "Come, children." She grabs them all, and she's like, "I'm going to see you at the end of the world. At the end of this world." And she flies around, and then, not forgetting Richard, she flies down and grabs him too. And she's got them all clutched to her. And she starts flying around really fast, and she bangs on the walls with her wings. And you know what? And it starts tumbling, and there's a big part of the wall comes out, and she flies out, and now they're in the magenta sky overlooking this the bamboo forest kind of thing, which now looks more like grass to them, like a very large grass to follow blades. And she starts flying faster than they've ever flown before, and it takes them right to the hole. And then one by one, she whispers something in each one of their ears, and then she throws them through the hole. Well, she throws them, and they don't see a hole, But when she throws them, each one comes tumbling out onto the grass of the cliff overlooking the ocean that started where they started the whole adventure. One after another, she whispers something in their ear and throws them through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all land in the at the cliff. And when they look back, the hole is gone. But there stands the lady in blue with her 5 heads. And it's Boros that notices that one of the heads is Bunt Trollfat, the turnip farmer. He never made it home, oddly enough. Thank you, she says, for completing the quest. You did what no one else could do. It's only till later. Yeah. It's only till later that Boros thinks back and thinks about how those people they fought in there were probably people she had sent in there to do the job before them. Those poor bastards. For this moment on, we are allies, she says to them, and I will be watching over you. The time is not right for me to confront our enemies directly, though. If I were to project my real form into this world, they would instantly be aware of my presence and could marshal all their forces for an attack I am not yet prepared to answer. Our heroes still have no idea who these enemies are. But I have no fear. I am already working on gathering my allies, first of which is Dresda. How good it is to say her name aloud without fear of discovery. Soon our gathered power will be too great to resist, and then we shall strike and chase our enemies from reality itself. And on this day, and she's speaking, of course, through all the heads, and on that day, my brave warrior allies, yours shall be the dominion of the world. But for now, and she waves her hand kind of in a circle, and there's a kind of a thunder crack and a ripple and a rip, and the sky opens again to reveal the wheel of destiny that they had seen the first time. And she goes, as I promised you all get a chance to spin the wheel once. To regain the destinies that should have been yours from the beginning. No, she doesn't seem good at all. And Boros and Richer, our 2 lawful people, they're feeling it the most. Like, what did we get ourselves into? But all of them still, they all started this adventure because they didn't feel like they were in the right time, right place, or there was something not right about them. So the lure of this Wheel of Destiny is too powerful. We're all going to roll it. And we've got a special die for it, too, to make this a big, momentous occasion. Because this campaign was called Wheel of Destiny for a reason. Whatever happens with these people now is going to carry on and kind of guide us for the rest of it. We're going to roll the giant D20. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so, they made definitely enough experience points. You only need 10 experience points to go from zero level to 1. Typical encounters 2 to 4, depending on the difficulty of experience points. So, yeah, they only need 10. They're going to be level 1. I tend to like leveling up after an adventure. So they're going to level up right after this. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, we're going to roll the die of destiny for each one of these people. And pull up the chart here. There's some additional, let's see, we're going to do Snicks first. Now, Snicks is funny. Snicks, if you remember, he said he thought it was funny to say the name Dresda out loud after she told everybody not to. So he's going to take a -1 on this roll for that. However, he did behead an opponent and dedicated that, and even in joking, dedicated to Lady in Blue. So he gets a +1. So he gets no modifier. It evens out for this roll. Here, I'm going to throw it up so it's not so crazy. I'm going to throw it up, catch it, and then drop it. 7. All right, let's see. He rolls the big wheel. He steps up. He says, I'll take a turn. She goes, all right, little man, then draw. And he just kind of wipes the air with his hands. And history is rewritten. The character, he had managed to ignore the summons of the lady. Yeah, he's level 7 now. Oh, lucky 7, yeah. No, he's level 7 now. Yeah, I know, right? I was kind of surprised too. Get this though. This is what the Wheel of Destiny does for Snyx. He's managed, okay, history is completely rewritten. Snyx had managed to ignore the summons of the Lady in Blue and goes back to his normal life as if he had never responded to those dreams or participated in this adventure. One of the characters that died during the adventure is brought back to life in his place with the same rules for the resurrected character as listed above. The disappeared character lives out the rest of their life as a mundane individual with a deep sense of loss for some unknown missed opportunity. So even though Snyx did not die, even though Snyx managed to survive, he is now being replaced by one of the dead. And heroic, who should he be replaced by? I'll take a wild guess, but I have a feeling I might know who he might pick. Yeah, well, yeah, it's up to you. Do you want it to be Tajay? It could be any of them. Tajay. Now the funny thing is all right. Taj gets to chance to roll the wheel too, which is pretty crazy, I believe. Oh, yeah, exactly. All right. Suddenly, Snyx is gone and Taj is in his place, but everyone else, it feels as if he's been there the whole time. It was always him. It was Taj who jumped off and tried to grab the cage and fell, and Boros jumped to save him. He is standing there, and he hasn't even done the wheel yet. So we're gonna roll. If we roll a 7 again, Taj is out, and it's gonna be a new person. So Taj gets to roll it. We're gonna throw it up. He doesn't have any modifiers. Oh, too big. Stuck too big. Taj rolls a 16. Major change to his stars. Oh geez, I gotta find his sheet. Where is he? Taj, there you are. All right. He receives a permanent +2 to his luck score. Wow. Rerolls his birth augur and lucky roll twice and chooses which of the 3, including the one he already has, to keep. Wow. Right now he has Fox's Cunning, which gives him +2 to find and disable traps. But he also chooses one of his ability scores and re-rolls it, keeping the new score if it is higher than the old one. The character's identity changes significantly. They age plus or minus 1d4 years. They might be from a new family, city, or even different country, and could have major physical changes. The character's gender or racial subgroup might even change. They might have a new name. Do we want to make Taj an elf? Or halfling or dwarf, or he's a human right now. We could make him a girl. Taj could become a girl. I'm going to roll. Where's my book? We are going to consult the birth augur chart. Birth augur. That's this right here. All right, D30. It's right here. All right, so the first, we could have him born, or her, born under the guardian angel, which is saving throws to escape traps. He'd get +3 for that, or she. Or could be born under the star of bountiful harvest, get extra hit points, plus 3 hit points at each level. I'm kind of running with. I'm kind of thinking if we want to do female elf, then Bountiful Harvest would be great. Extra hit points is always welcome. Let's do that. Taj is a female elf. Yeah. I choose the reroll ability score. Right. Her personality is a 7. Strength is 11. That's actually personality is the only thing she's got a -1 on. So I'm thinking we'll reroll. Well, yeah, 3 extra per level, which is good. So she gets to roll. Every time you level up, you roll your hit die. So she'll roll a d6, but she'll get +3 each time. So that's cool. That that can make a difference. We're gonna roll her. See if we can get a better roll for her personality. Taj was not a very handsome man. There we go. Let's see if he'll be a comely female elf. 7, 8, 9. Well, it's not a minus. He is not. She is not horribly unattractive. There's no minus there, so we will keep it. Well, her 3. It's because it's 3 because she's got an 18 luck now. She had a 16 luck, but she got a +2, so now she's at 18 luck, which is a +3 modifier. So that's what the birth augur does is the lucky sign is you roll in it when you create the character, and then they get to add their luck modifier to whatever that is, and it could be anything from melee attack rolls or spell checks, that kind of thing. Okay. That was Taj. Welcome aboard, Taj. Who steps up next? Richer. Taj, the female elf that they all feel like they're not quite sure. Oh, well, maybe they saw little bits of what happened when she rolled the destiny, but each one of them's too enamored and staring at the wheel to really focus on what happens to everybody else. Let's put it that way. To everybody else, they're the only one that's stepping up and rolling the wheel. All right. We are rolling now for Richer, the halfling. Oh, wait. Did he have any modifiers? Richer was the one who released Drizda from the cage. He gets +2 on this roll. Yeah. Yeah. And up and down. Whoa. 18. All right. Same thing for Richer that just happened to Taj. He gets major change to his character stars. Permanent +2 to his luck score. So he's at 14 now. That's good. Oh, wait. No. He was at 3. He is now at 5. Well, he's going to regen them. We're going to let him regen them. He's a halfling. So he's going to be at 14. He's going to re-roll his birth augur. Well, right now he's got lucky sign, saving throws, +0, but he's going to have a +1 or 2 now. I think 1. So he's saving throws. 23 is charmed, born under the charmed horse. He gets well, that's cool. You get +1 to his armor class. So that's a pretty awesome plus. And then 22 is resisted temptation, willpower saving throws. So our choices are saving throws +1, willpower saving throws +1, or armor class. No, Taj had 16 and +2 is 18, and then Richard had 12 and now he's at 14. Man, I'm torn between the armor class and the saving throws, But I guess I'm leaning towards saving throws because that affects 3 different types of die rolls versus armor class, which is just 1. So I think we're going to keep his lucky sign for saving throws. And he chooses one of his ability scores and re-rolls it. I'm thinking he's his strength and his personality are 11 both. I think he's going to re-roll strength. So we're going to re-roll strength. Maybe get something a lot heavier. Ah, 7, 8, 9. That's not better. You're keeping your 11 strength. All right, so he might be from a different... We don't know him that well. So I don't know his family or city or different country. I'll think about that. He could have major physical changes. They might have a new name. Let's rename him. Let's do that. If you have any thoughts on names, chat. Heroic or anybody else who might be lurking. If you got a new name for Richard, the Halfling Moneylender. I don't think I'm really happy with Richard anyway. We'll throw a new name on him. Then it is Naomi's time. Naomi steps up. Naomi, let's see, what did Naomi do? She didn't really do anything. No. I mean, she didn't do anything that would affect the roll. She didn't like eat the rotten food or be the first one to step on the bridge or anything like that. Naomi steps up to spin the wheel of destiny. And she rolls a 20. 20. I'm so happy we got at least 120. Her stars completely change. So it's the same as the previous result. So all the things that happened just to the other guys is getting the same, except she chooses a new occupation for herself. And it's that she's had that occupation her entire life. This might even change the character's race. Any previous known skills belonging to previous professional known are lost with the change. Okay. The character is now a completely different person, unrecognizable to anyone who knew her before she rolled the Wheel of Destiny. Eaton, Atticus, Ignis. Very Roman-sounding names. I don't know. What do you think? Which one of your? I kind of like Atticus. Atticus for a halfling. Maybe he was born to a. I don't know. It makes me think of gladiators. Like a name of somebody, and I'm pretty sure somebody was named Atticus in Spartacus. Naomi. What are you going to be, Naomi? Naomi has been a jester. She's been her whole life because she's felt like she hasn't fit in, and she's very weak. She's going to, this is perfect. Her strength is 4. She's going to re-roll her strength score for sure. But first, let's see. What could she be? If she was going to rewrite her destiny, she would be... is there any occupations for like baron or something noble? An astrologer? I'm looking at a big list of occupations. Atticus is good. We'll go with Atticus. Richard's new name for here and henceforth. The stars have named him Atticus, which is a lot more fun to say than Richard. But I gotta keep saying it over and over again. Jeweler, boring, merchant, noble, boom. she is going to be a noble. She is noble in spirit. So, Naomi's stars completely change. Her life changes. She is a noble. But there's some key things that never change, which are how she felt after the fight in the beginning of this episode. She has begun a journey, and she's going to finish that journey by becoming a cleric. All right, but we're going to re-roll her birth signs. Right now, her luck is +2. She's got a 16 luck now. That's pretty cool. She got the Bountiful Harvest one too. I think we just keep that. I'm not even going to roll because that's such a good one. And then she's going to re-roll her strength. Let's have a good roll this time. 10, 13. Well, that's way better than 4. All right, the stars give her +2 luck. Got it. +13. We're going to get to know Naomi in the course, but from here on out, she was a noble from somewhere. And she's, as a jester, she was pretty because she was she's charismatic. But now as a noble, her the way she holds herself, she's even more, she's more of an estately beautiful than, and charming from a refined kind of way. I say all this because her personalities are her highest score. She's a 14 on personality, which is the key attribute for a cleric, by the way. Okay, that was Naomi. Her stars completely changed. And now, finally, is it finally? We did Snyx, we did Richer, we did Naomi. No, we've got Armstrong. Armstrong, I don't know much about this guy. He's a chaotic herder. His dog survived. Precious survived. So that's good. He steps up to roll the Wheel of Destiny. Did he do anything? Armstrong, he didn't do anything that gives some modification on this. Ahmad. Okay. Up we go. 11. Middle of the road. What happens at a medal? Minor change to the character's stars. The character receives a permanent +1 to his luck score, so that's good. He's got a 13, which I think puts him over the edge to give him a +1. And he must re-roll his birth augur. So, okay. That's 30 right here. 3. Fortunate date. Missile fire attack rolls. Okay. So if he rolls missile fire attack rolls, he gets his luck bonus, which looks like it's +1. Which one is that? That is fortunate date. All right. He re-rolls his... The change is permanent. This change either adds or subtracts 1d12 months to the character's age and causes minor physical changes. We don't really know him that well. And if everybody was paying attention, they would have saw his eyes go from brown to blue. Armstrong is a big, strong, and reliable fellow. He's also chaotic, though. We don't know what that means in the big, strong, and reliable sense. Maybe he's more big and strong. Maybe he's more reliable if it's in his best interest. We're not quite sure. Armstrong's going to be our little bit more complex character. He runs deep. This guy. So his brown eyes are now blue. We didn't really know that before. His hairs are more red than what they were before. All right. In fact, he takes off his cap and he's actually got a full head of hair, and he was losing his hair before. And finally, Boros, the Dwarven chest maker. What does Destiny have in store for him? All right. 6. Boros, I believe... No, he didn't do any of that stuff. So what is a 6? History. Oh, history is rewritten. Oh, we lost. Okay. This is the same thing that happens to Snicks. That happened to Snicks. We have to... Boros is bye-bye. Boros is bye-bye, and someone who's already died is going to take his place. If you remember, in the fight, Dora went down. Yeah, so did I. So did I. That's why this is the Wheel of Destiny. I saw Boros as the natural leader too. I seem to gravitate towards dwarves being the leader of the groups, though. And I'm actually kind of glad that I'm not going to get locked into that. The other campaign, Snope was the leader, and he was a dwarf. But hear me out on this. Boros, in the big battle that left most of them dead in the last episode, he went nuts. And it's what turned the tide of battle, him going nuts, when Dora fell. I was thinking, or Portia, but I was thinking in some kind of kismic kind of way that Dora would be, he would in a way give her life over him. They hadn't grown like too close, but he didn't like seeing her die. So poetically, I think Dora would be nice. Portia is not bad. How is Portia? I don't know about Portia. The other good one is Umar. Umar the Fine Minstrel. But I mean, if you're cool with Dora, I think, because then we'd have a dwarf back in the mix. It's nice to have a dwarf. And she's neutral too, so that's good. All right. Because she went sliding off the bridge right in the beginning. Who else do we like? Fausta was an interesting character just because she had the iron on her for some reason. She liked the pain. Interesting, maybe a little tragic. I liked Umar, the idea of a minstrel, the bard. But I also like having I like having diversity in a group. Yeah, we're going to rename Dora. She's going to come back and get a new name. That's what's going to happen with her. Because I wrote Dora. Dora sounded a lot better on paper until I started saying Dora. And that's all I can think about too is Dora the Explorer. Not that that's bad. It's just too cartoony. All right, that's it. It's Dora. The big change happens, and everything. It was Boros that died, and Dora that freaked out and took the battle axe and cleaved the bad dwarf in half. And Dora's the one that took the spear and jumped down and killed the Titan. Everything changed, but nothing changed. And then, Kips was cool too, man. Maybe we should roll. Should we leave it up to the die? Because then we could get somebody we have no idea who it would be. Well, let's think about it. This final party is going to be a dwarf, a halfling, an elf, and 2 humans. I think that's a pretty good... Yeah. I think that's a pretty good mixture. Well, anybody else want to chime in? I'm being undecided today, right now. I'm locked in indecision, which I guess means we got to roll. All right, if I got you on board with Dora, we're going to keep Dora. Let's do it. I want to name Dora, Doral, Doram, Dora. If I add a H, Dora, instead of Dora, might be better. All right, she doesn't change any of her ability scores. Everything stays the same. And she gets the roll. So actually, she gets the roll. And Dora, if you remember, she's the one that ate the spoiled food. And little did she know that that gave her +1 on her roll. So now Dora is standing there, and she's got to make her roll. And she gets a +1 on it. So this might all be for not... It is! Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Here we go. You never know. It's the same... Okay. All that back and forth. Dora is now switched out. So, is it Kip or Portia? No, Dora's gone now. She spun her Wheel of Destiny. She got her one shot, and history is rewritten, and she is replaced. She's back. She's gone. The die settled it for me. So now, yeah. So now it's, now you know what? Let's do this. We're gonna roll now. We're gonna roll. If we D16, we're gonna roll a D20. Oh, you know, yeah. We're gonna roll a D20 and see what that gives us, and we'll just re-roll if it's somebody we already have. 16. Bunt troll fat. The turnip farmer. Where's he at? Oh. Welcome back, Bunt. Nothing especially special about Bunt other than he has a cow. Let's roll. Bunt is now standing there in front of the Wheel of Destiny. Let's see what the Wheel of Destiny says. A 2. He's out. Bunt is out. It's like a part in one of these movies where it's like zoom, zoom, zoom. People keep changing. We're rolling a D20 again. Yeah, I'm glad too. I didn't want Bunt. That's a 17. Doesn't work. 16 wants Bunt again. 5. Naomi, she's already in the party. 2. Dora, okay. We've already gone through those guys. 4. Tajay's back in the party anyway. Jeez. Man, the die does not want... Here, I'm going to do this. We got Atros, Portia, Umar, Fosta. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to roll 1d8 for all the people who haven't been picked yet. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jasper. Jasper Growl, the animal trainer. Jasper was very fast. He was a fast guy. He was chaotic as well. Let's roll the Wheel of Destiny. 8. Minor change to his stars. He gets a permanent +1 to his luck, puts it at 14. He re-rolls the change is permanent. And let's see. Armstrong survived. Yeah, Jasper. All right. We're gonna see what Jasper brings to the party. He died. He died in the big battle. He died in the big battle. His pony died off the bridge. If you remember, his pony, I forget what her name was. Something silly. Oh, Babe the pony. All right, Birthhogger. 13. He is the 7th son. He gets plus his luck bonus to spell checks. That kind of... Jeez, come on now. Okay. Like everybody, like the other minor changes, he's maybe a little shorter. He's maybe a little younger. But that's about it. But Jasper's there. Yeah. Jasper was the one who grabbed the spear. Jasper was the one who jumped and killed the Titan. Jasper was the one that did all that in everyone else's minds. Boros is now gone. And that's the last of the characters to roll the Wheel of Destiny. To spin it. After the last one spins it, after Jasper steps back and they all look at each other, all feeling right. More right than they felt their whole lives. They hear a shoo, and they look back and the wheel's gone, the rip in the reality's gone, the lady's still there, and she says, just remember I'll always be watching. And then she fades off, and it's a beautiful morning on the cliffside overlooking the ocean. And that's where we're going to leave these guys for tonight. What's going to happen coming into the next adventure, they're all going to level up. And now, I kind of thought I had a beginning idea in the beginning of the episode, but now that all this stuff's happened, I want to go back over it and maybe see what people think. Okay, so Halfling in itself is a class. So Atticus is going to be a Halfling. There's no change there. Tajay is an elf. Elf is a class. So, yeah, me too, Heroic. Good point. Really good point. Yeah, that's a great point. It's better that the Wheel of Destiny decided. The Wheel of Destiny decided all of this. Taj is a, well, except for Taj. That's okay. Taj is a female elf. Elf is a class, so we pretty much got an elf and a halfling. That's easy peasy. Naomi, you weren't here in the beginning, Heroic, but Naomi had a kind of a moment having survived that battle from the very beginning and being so lucky. She kind of felt like she'd been touched, and it kind of put her on a path in her mind to spirituality. And I think Naomi is going to be our cleric, or at least a cleric. Now, that leaves Jasper and Armstrong. Oh, well, I think... Well, we got a halfling, which is kind of a thief. Kind of. Armstrong, I think Armstrong is not very strong and not very agile. I think Armstrong's going to end up being a wizard. Because he is smart. He's got a good intelligence at 15. And then I think Jasper might surprise us all and be a thief. His agility is 17. His luck is pretty high. It's a 14 luck. He's chaos, so it kind of fits the mold. Not that you have to be chaos to be a thief, but... okay, I think that's what's going to end up happening. I'll put some more thought into it. Next week on Wheel of Destiny, our band of adventurers is going to find themselves without homes and not really wanting to go home. They're going to find themselves traveling down the coast of this ocean and looking for whatever adventure they happen to stumble on. And what they do stumble on is quite the adventure. So we will pick up where we leave off here next week on Friday. It'll be, I'm just going to go ahead and name what is the adventure. The adventure is Tower of the Black Pearl by Harley Stroh. Harley Stroh is one of my favorite DCC adventure writers. He's pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to this one. I haven't played this one before. All right. Thanks anybody who's watching. Make sure you follow or subscribe if you haven't already. Next Friday we will continue our party. Heroic, you have a great night, man. And Viva la Dungeon!